Having seen nice demos of it before and learning that it's a plugin that Buster Rodeholm, producer for both Humanity's Last Breath and Viljetta and many others, uses, I knew I needed to check out Neural DSP's Fortin Nameless Suite amp simulation plugin and answer the question, is this the best metal plugin ever? So I made a mix using the Nameless plugin with the riffs I wrote for this video right here to showcase the plugin. The original mix in that video was done with Neural DSP's Archetype Gojira plugin. So it serves as a nice comparison between the two plugins. It will also be a nice test of how well the Fortin Nameless Suite handles really low-tuned material. But alright, let's dig into the Fortin Nameless Suite and see what it's worth. Let's go. So first off, the plugin comes with 3 preamp pedals. First up is the Zool pedal, which is a very simple noise gate. Next up is the Hex drive pedal, with the knobs that you would expect from a preamp drive pedal, similar to a tube screamer. In my mix I used the standard setup with drive at 0, level at 10, and then adjusting the tone knob to my liking. Let's listen to what this guitar tone sounds like with and without it, as well as what the tone knob does. Lastly, we have the grind pedal, which kinda adds gain, but is also supposed to add clarity and articulation to the sound, to make every note defined and present according to Neural DSP. So yeah, let's listen to what it does to the guitar tone. Moving on, we have the amp window, which features some fairly standard amp controls. You have the, what I assume is a kind of pre-gain to the amp. You have a presence knob, bass knob, mid knob, treble knob, and you also have 2 different types of gain that sound a bit different from each other. Let's listen to what the 2 different types of gains have to offer. I really like the inclusion of these 2 gains, as it brings some versatility to the plugin. Moving along, we have the cab window, which is pretty standard for Neural DSP plugins. You only have 1 cab, but you have a choice between several different microphones. For each microphone, you can also adjust the position, the distance, the level, the pan. You can also phase invert and turn it on and off. You can also blend up to 2 different microphones if you want to. Let's check out what a couple of the different microphones sound like. Let's also listen to what the position and the distance knob does. We also have some presets here, so let's listen to what these sound like. Let's start with some from Ola Englund. Let's also listen to some from Jens Kidman. Isn't that the vocalist for Meshuggah? Did he do some presets? That's wild. Let's listen to them. And that's kind of it for the plugin. You of course also have the usual controls for a Neural DSP plugin. You got the input level, you got a simple noise gate over here. You can run the plugin in either mono or stereo mode. It has support for oversampling. You can also save and load presets over here. And there's also an output knob over here. You of course also got a tuner down here. And you also got the MIDI mappings window. But other than that, it's a fairly straightforward plugin. It contains what you'd expect, essentially. So what do I think of this plugin? Well, first off, I made a conscious choice not to use any external cabs in this mix, as I wanted to showcase what the plugin sounds like out of the box. I'm not the biggest fan of the included cab. It sounds a bit too harsh and thin for my liking. Being able to use another cab from another Neural DSP plugin would be great. Which brings me to a critique of not necessarily this plugin, but of Neural DSP plugins in general. Please, Neural DSP, please, for the love of God, make some kind of Neural DSP loader plugin where you can easily mix and match stuff that you already have. I also have Archetype Gojira, and I do like the cabs included in that plugin. Being able to combine these two in a single preset would be so awesome. Or maybe just being able to blend two cabs. I do like the preamp pedals included in the Nameless plugin, and would love to be able to use them together with the Archetype Gojira amps. Or, as I've said in previous videos, I'm a huge fan of EQing my guitar before it hits the amp. Archetype Gojira, for example, has a post-amp EQ, which is nice, but being able to put an instance of that before the amp would be nice. And sure, you can just do this in a DAW. Just instantiate multiple plugins, disable the stuff that you don't want, and you can mix and match and order things exactly as you want. But I don't want to have to boot up my DAW every time I pick up the guitar. A Neural DSP loader plugin that essentially acts as a library of all the stuff that you have. All the pedals, all the amps, all the cabs and all the effects. That lets you just put these into some form of preset builder would be so awesome. I would probably buy more plugins from you if that were the case. Just saying. But okay, back to the Fortin Nameless suite. The amp itself I really like. I feel like it handled low-tuned guitars really well, and with a nice cab IR after it, bypassing the one that is included in the plugin. I think the plugin would really shine. As I understand it, this plugin, or rather the amp from this plugin, has been used in the mixes of Humanity's Last Breath songs, so there's definitely a place for it if you're willing to combine multiple plugins for your sound. But as it stands, comparing only what's included in the plugin, I think I do still prefer Archetype Gojira. It just sounds nicer to my personal taste, but tastes vary, and that's awesome. If you're on the fence between the Nameless suite and Archetype Gojira, let's do a quick comparison of the two plugins. Everything else in the mix is the same, it's only the guitar tone that is different. Let's go. I also really like the preamp pedals. I would need to do some more testing to figure out if the noise gate pedal is better in any way than the default noise gate embedded in the plugin, but I appreciate its inclusion. The hex drive pedal is really nice and feels like a bit more brutal alternative to a standard tube screamer. The grind pedal can add a sense of brutalism to the tone if you're into the sound that it brings. So those are definitely two pedals that I'll use in the future. So what do you think of the plugin? How does it compare to other amp plugins you've tried out or seen demos of? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. But alright, that's it for this video everyone. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. See you in the next video.